All right. Well, as Israel-Hamas ceasefire at a standstill, protests of the hostages continue in Israel. And during the budget vote, photos of hostages and 59 notes against the Prime Minister. The vote on the state budget, which aims to increase defense spending, comes amidst fears for Israeli hostages after a resumption of the bombing campaign in Gaza. Meanwhile, Netanyahu said that the renewed attacks aimed to pressure Hamas into the releasing of the remaining 59 hostages. It is about 24 of them are believed to be still alive, and the president of Israel said that the issue of hostages being held by Hamas was no longer a top priority. This comes days after its war policy, and amidst the continued tensions between Israel and Gaza, Egypt has made a new proposal aimed at restoring Gaza ceasefire deal. Plans suggest Hamas release 5 Israeli hostages each week, with Israel in phase of the ceasefire. After Egypt's proposal also includes a timeline for the release in exchange for a timeline for Israel from Gaza, backed by US guarantees, of course. And following this, Hamas officials have repeated proposals are being discussed with the mediators to bridge the gap and to resume negotiations to reach some common. Mark Sofer, former ambassador to Israel, ambassador of Israel to is joining us on the program. Being here with us, sir, implies that the ceasefire be a positive affirm of this this war that has been going on for quite some time. But the fact of the matter is that happened in the past, but they have not yielded much for both the sides, especially for Israel. How can it be round leading up to a ceasefire is also fruitful?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Israel is in a lot of turmoil, a lot of disagreements, a lot of problems inside of the society, mass demonstrations going on, because we feel that the government actually isn't doing or going on the right path to release the hostages. And number one priority must be number one the society, and it must be one priority for people. There are still at least 24 hostages still alive, and we're dealing here with France, or Britain, or India. We're not dealing with, and it's very difficult indeed, in fact impossible, to place any trust on a bunch of murdering rapists. Here we find ourselves between a rock and a hard. On the one hand, it has been proven over the last year and a half that only or mainly by arrangement or by some sort of an agreement can hostages released. Very few of the hostages have been military activity. There has to. I think everybody in Israel is in agreement. Must not no longer be in any type of responsibility or authority inside of Gaza on the one hand, or capability on the other. And yet our first president said must be the release, and we have to do anything that needs to be done on the diplomatic front with Egypt states to get this done.
That like Egypt are also beginning to feel the heat of this war, and that's why active participation and outlook toward these attacks on each other.
I think Egypt has been involved in the beginning. I don't think they're really. They want to bring an end to the conflict. They'll do as well. The government has got its own position, always in cahoots with that of the people, of democracy. I think that every civilized human this conflict, and as quickly as I said, this isn't a conflict between two states or between Israel and Egypt, or between Israel and Jordan, which was started by Hamas, a proscribed terror related to the killing of as many Jews as possible. The state talking here about normalcy in the sense of international conflicts. This isn't even Russia in that respect. So yes, I think Egypt does want an conflict. I think most people in Israel, by far most people, want an end to the conflict. Hamas does not, but they have to be ignored. I think Qatar, certainly the United States, unity. The question is how we bring it about. I'm not sure that the government has taken, the Israeli government has always, they have internal considerations to deal with. I think that the hostages especially above any internal political considerations, and many of us feel that this.
Sir, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for your time, your perspective on this important update. Moving on, well, a major security breach has rocked